Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here and welcome to a brand new season of MetroMania. That's right, we're 6 seasons in, you guys are still loving it, I'm still loving making it, so you're damn right it's going to continue. If this is your first time watching MetroMania, it's really super simple. It's a 16 Pokemon metronome-only double battle tournament where we determine this season's MetroMania Champion. And this season, I'll get into what it's about this season because I'm scared. If you're a fan of MetroMania already, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying the series, and of course, hit the subscribe button if you're new so you never miss a piece of the action. Now, the reason I'm scared is because I took a little bit of a different approach with this season of MetroMania, and I know you don't like change. Now, the difference this season of MetroMania is that it's going to take place in a different style of Pokemon game. So we normally do them in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that's all well and good, but when I saw the rundown, the lineup for this particular season of MetroMania, I was like, I could make that in Let's Go, and it would look beautiful. Now, the problem therein is that these Pokemon won't have their abilities, but my counter argument to that is these Pokemon's primary abilities that we would have used for MetroMania anyway aren't really that significant. In fact, they'll barely affect the way the battles go forward. Like, a lot of them get things like Sand Veil or Snow Cloak, which really aren't going to make or break the series. Now, another argument is that there are less moves in Pokemon Let's Go than there are in Pokemon Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, but there's still like 250-ish moves, which means it's still going to be unpredictable, we still don't know what's going to happen, and it's still going to be as exciting as ever. Now, aside from the few of you that'll be like, oh, but I wanted it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I know the rest of you are going to be super excited for this series of MetroMania. I am, and remember, it's going to look freaking incredible because the graphics in Let's Go they just piss all over Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, don't they? So without further ado, let's take a look at the MetroMania Season 6 brackets. And here are the brackets for Season 6 of MetroMania. They look absolutely lovely. These Pokemon have been chosen and their positions by random number generator. Unfortunately, Meowth and Geodude didn't make the cut, but we do have Ninetales and Persian, Rattata, Raticate, Golem, Executor, Sandslash, Grimer, Raichu, Dugtrio, Diglett, Muck, Vulpix, Sandshrew, Marowak, and Graveler as our competitors in Season 6 of MetroMania. Remember, I don't have control over who goes where. I just use a random number generator to determine what Pokemon are going to be in this season, and it looks absolutely stacked. We've got some star power, we've got some underdogs. There is definitely potential for some crazy battles going forward, and I'm really excited to see what happens. But let's start things off with Alolan Ninetales versus Alolan Persian. And here we go. The first battle of MetroMania Season 6 is Alolan Ninetales taking on Alolan Persian. Of course, if you're new to MetroMania, this is a best out of 3 battles each round. So if Alolan Ninetales, for example, defeats Persian 2-0, then that's it. If it wins 2 battles, it's won. Basically first to 2. And here we see Persian starting things off for its team, going for Minimize, trying to make itself a lot more difficult to hit. Now, of course, the only downside to recording this in Pokemon Let's Go, in my opinion, is the fact that there's no battle video recorder, so you will see inputs happening on screen. Here's a Hyper Fang from Shiny Persian onto Shiny Ninetales. Decent amount of damage. First damage of MetroMania. Well done to Shiny Persian. And here is Shiny Ninetales with an Absorb, which won't do very much damage to Persian, although, saying that, did quite a bit of damage to Persian, and will restore a little bit of HP to Shiny Ninetales. But look how beautiful this game is. Here is the regular Alolan Ninetales, who is going to go for Mega Kick, but it is going to be avoided by Shiny Persian. Now, that's just unfortunate, because Mega Kick just isn't a Pokemon move with 100% accuracy, so unfortunately didn't hit the Shiny Persian. But here comes the regular Persian once again, who has used Minimize and has increased evasiveness. Remember, going for Peck onto the regular Ninetales for a little bit of chip damage there, and we'll see what Shiny Persian is going to follow up with. It's going to go for Mega Punch, which is going to land on the Shiny Ninetales for a great little chunk of damage there. What will Shiny Ninetales retaliate with? It's going to go for Sharpen and increase its own attack stat. Not content with the attack stat it currently has, it's going to try and deal even more damage, even though Ninetales isn't really known for its attack stat. Here comes the regular Alolan Ninetales, who is going to go for a Dragon Rage, which is going to do a guaranteed 40 hit points of damage, so it was a great choice of move there for the Ninetales team. And of course, if Dragon Rage were to be used by the Persian team, it would not affect the Fairy type Ninetales team, so that's something to take into account going forward. Here's the Shiny Persian, that big blue boy, who's going to go for Flamethrower, which will be super effective on the Shiny Ninetales there. Massive chunk of damage, bringing that Ninetales down into the yellow. And here comes the regular Persian with the immediate follow-up, going for Supersonic, and it is going to land. A bit sketchy on the accuracy of Supersonic, but it does get the confusion on that Shiny Ninetales, and that is a difficult position for Ninetales to be in. Here comes the regular Ninetales, though. It is going to fire off with Reflect, increase its protection against physical hits. Now, that's probably a very good idea. Increase the physical defense because, of course, Ninetales not really known for being that defensively bulky. And here comes the confusion damage, knocking that shiny Ninetales into the danger zone right there. So it's on a little bit of thin ice there as we see the moves being selected for the next turn. And here comes Persian. What will it do here? It's going to go for Smog Attack, which is going to land. And it's going to deal some super effective damage to that shiny Ninetales, taking it out of the game. Down goes shiny Ninetales. It's 1 Ninetales versus 2 Persian right now. Persian definitely has the upper hand right now during this little bit of back and forth. Here's a Pound, which is going to be reduced by that Reflect, so Ninetales isn't going to feel much of it. Of course, Alolan Persian, a bit more of a special attacker than physical, I believe. Here's Amnesia, so protecting against that special attack stat of Persian is our remaining Ninetales, plus 2 special defense right now. And now it's time to see what this Ninetales will do. What will this Ninetales, how will it respond to losing its partner, basically? It's out there on its own. It definitely needs to turn the tide in this battle. But Persian, of course, going for Explosion, says, no, I'm not letting you turn the tide in this battle. Wow. I'm going to go with one of the most powerful moves there is. Of course, the Reflect prevents that explosion from being an issue and now puts Persian in a very dangerous position. Wow, okay, that wasn't the best play by Persian. Here's a Seismic Toss, which will do a guaranteed 50 hit points of damage. That's the kind of thing Persian needs to do. Bringing Ninetales down into the yellow, less than half of its max HP. What will Ninetales do here? It's going to go for Leer and lower the defense. Doesn't really need to lower the defense, just needs to go in with an attack, to be honest, because this shiny Persian is in a lot of danger right now. Shiny Persian does not really have many turns left in it. It needs to come up with something big if it's going to take out Ninetales. It's in a dangerous place. It's going for Fire Punch, though, which is super effective. Reduced by the Reflect, I believe. Doesn't quite take down Ninetales. Doesn't quite. This is neck and neck right now. Ninetales gets ready, goes for Bubble Beam, and you've got to think that's got to be all she wrote for the first round, because Persian doesn't have a lot of HP, and there it is. Shiny Persian goes down. Ninetales leads the pack with 1-0. It's now, believe it or not, it's Persian who's on the ropes right now. Needs to get a victory under its belt if it wants any hope of continuing in this tournament. So well done to Ninetales for turning that around, but now Persian really needs to be on their A game. They need to bring it to Ninetales, but what are they going to do here? As we all get ready for the first turn, here comes regular Persian. What will it do? It's going to go for Fury Swipes to start things off. That's a very Persian thing to do, is go for the Fury Swipes. Only the 2 hits there. I believe it's 2 hits. I think so. I'm pretty sure. Answers on a postcard. And Teleport is going to fail for the shiny Persian, so not off to the best start. Maybe a little bit rumbled by the previous events after its partner randomly exploded on it. Here's an Ember, not doing a great deal of damage there, but any damage is better than no damage here in MetroMania. And now shiny Ninetales goes for the Whirlwind. It's going to fail. So unfortunately, 2 mistakes. 1 mistake from each team in that first turn. As we prepare for turn number 2, what will happen here? Persian is once again going to start things off for its team, and it goes for Ember, which this time, this Ember will be super effective on that regular Ninetales, doing that little bit of damage there. No burns dished out yet, though. And here comes shiny Alolan Persian, who is going to go for Amnesia. Very smart play, so it's going to increase its special defense by 2 stages? Yes, by 2 stages. There you go. Now it's time for the shiny Ninetales to really try and do something here. Going to go for Hard and increase its defense. It's not a terrible play for early on. I mean, that, you know, the more defense you can do early in the battle, it will help you out later in the battle. Let's think of it that way. And here comes regular Ninetales, who is going to go for agility and increase its speed. So now it may have the speed advantage against the Alolan Persian. Although saying that, Alolan Persian is surprisingly fast. That's what I've learned whenever I've battled an Alolan Persian. In my experience, it's a lot faster than you actually think it is. And here we go. Getting ready for the next turn. Here comes Ninetales starting things off. It does have the speed advantage now after that agility. And here comes a Solar Beam. So it's going to absorb light this turn. And then it's going to fire off a Solar Beam on the next turn. Persian really could do with taking out that Ninetales ASAP before it has to take a Solar Beam. Here's a Hydro Pump, though, from shiny Alolan Persian onto the regular Ninetales, who's getting ready with the Solar Beam, so a great choice of play there. Didn't do a great deal of damage, though, for a Hydro Pump. And here comes the regular Persian, who's going to follow up with a high jump kick, which will be neutral. and that's going to affect Ninetales greatly. Takes it down into the danger zone, but it is still standing, and here comes the shiny Ninetales, who's going to go for a Surf, which will damage its partner, though, so very, very risky play there. Is it going to be enough to take its own partner out? It's not, so that Solar Beam will still happen, but my word, that Ninetales almost took out its own partner before that Solar Beam could take effect. That was almost a very, very boneheaded play here. As we wait for the two lovely Nintendo Switches to catch up with each other, this is what we have to deal with sometimes, ladies and gents. And here comes that Solar Beam, and it's beautiful. What a Solar Beam right there. Doing a decent chunk of damage to that shiny Persian right there. Taking it down into the yellow, less than half its max HP. And here comes regular Persian with a Stun Spore. And that is going to paralyze the shiny Alolan Ninetales, which is not good because that's the Alolan Ninetales that, you know, has the current HP advantage and doesn't really want to be stuck in this battle for so long. Here's a double kick, though. That is going to take down the regular Ninetales. Persian really running the good tactics here, paralyzing the Pokemon that's going to be on the field for a lot longer instead of wasting that paralysis. Although the paralysis is ignored by the shiny Ninetales, who's going to go for soft boil, but its HP is full, so it really didn't need to do that. Now it's make or break for Persian here. Persian has an advantage right now in this particular battle, but it needs to take advantage of it. It really needs to keep its focus. No explosions. Here's a water gun for just a bit of chip damage there with a little critical hit as well on the Ninetales. And here comes regular Persian, who will fire as well with a Thunder Punch, which of course Ninetales isn't as good physically, I believe, defensively as special. I believe it's got much better special defense, if I remember rightly. I'm probably completely wrong. I'm getting old. You know, I'm nearly 31. Just throw me out in the back garden and bury me or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just had a little existential crisis during the first episode of MetroMania. This is going to be a fantastic season, and here's Rage from the Alolan Persian onto that Alolan Ninetales right there. Tiny bit of damage, but the Rage is building, so try not to attack that Persian if you can. Here comes the shiny Alolan Persian trying to paralyze once again. Don't try and paralyze a paralyzed Pokemon. What's wrong with you? Is your brain paralyzed right now, sir? And here's the Ninetales with double edge, pulling out the big guns onto massive damage onto Alolan Persian right there. Does build up the Rage a little bit and a little bit of recoil damage as well, but what a great play. Both these Persian are in a difficult position HP wise, but of course Ninetales has the disadvantage of having the paralysis, which could strike at any time. Here comes Persian with what's it going to go for? Going to go for Sing, but you can't put a paralyzed Pokemon to sleep unless you're that Pokemon and you're using Rest. Come on, mate. 101 is Rage once again. Shiny Alolan Persian this time, going for the Rage. Ninetales feeling the effects of that paralysis, fully paralyzed, cannot move. What will it do? It's all Persian this round, isn't it? This has been such an even contest. This is the first episode of the new season, and already it's been so even. And here is Persian going for Bide. So, Ninetales, I'm telling you right now, my advice is do not attack that Persian, because it's going to end you if you do. Focus on the shiny. The shiny does go for Body Slam. No chance for paralysis this time, of course, because Ninetales is already paralyzed, but now Ninetales is at less than half its max HP. It really needs a miracle here. Gonna go for Fly, which does waste a turn of that Bide. So that's actually quite a smart play by Ninetales there. Can we have our phones turned off, please, whilst we're recording commentary? That is the professional way to do it. You amateur YouTuber, you over there. I'm looking at you. I'm not talking to myself, I swear. And here we see shiny Alolan Persian going for Substitute. Risky play with how much HP it's you know, got remaining. Of course, Ninetales paralyzed, can't actually use the Fly, but that works in its favor because Persian's energy that's unleashed is nothing because it can't actually use Bide if you don't hit it. So the Bide fails. Here is the shiny Alolan Persian who's going to go for another Body Slam. It's found a move it likes and it's going to go for it. That Body Slam dealing a decent chunk of damage to Ninetales there. What will Ninetales do in return? It needs a miracle right now. Gonna go for Light Screen. Probably not the best option given that you already have decent special defense. I would have focused on taking out that Substitute or taking down the Persian that isn't behind a Substitute. One of those two would have been a really good option for Ninetales. Persian really has had an answer for everything that Ninetales has had throughout this battle. And now it's over to regular Persian for the next move. Gonna go Toxic, but it does fail, of course, because Ninetales is paralyzed and you can't poison a paralyzed Pokemon. Here is the shiny Alolan Persian, who behind that Substitute is gonna go for Tri-Attack, which I feel like won't deal a lot of damage to Ninetales. Not a great deal, although it did more than I thought it would. brings Ninetales down into the danger zone as that paralysis continues to take effect. Really scuppering Ninetales' strategy here. So Ninetales can't really do anything if it keeps suffering under that paralysis. It's all Persian right now. What will Persian do? It doesn't really need to worry because it still has 2 Pokemon on the field. Ninetales is in a terrible position compared to where it was this time in the last battle. So now Persian gets ready, it gets geared up and goes for Bide once again. It's basically saying, hey Ninetales, go ahead, hit me. Let me show you what I can do. Just strike me once. Oh my word, strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. That's what we were all thinking, I just said it. Here's a Swords Dance from the Persian behind the substitute, the shiny Persian. Wow. Persian is confident right now. It doesn't see that substitute fading anytime soon, and even if it does, it has another opportunity to attack. Ninetales is paralyzed once again. Can't do anything. Poor thing. I feel really bad for Alolan Ninetales right now. Here's the Bide continuing. Of course, it's not been powered up yet because no move has happened. And here comes shiny Alolan Persian. What will it do with that +2 attack? It's going to go for Psychic, which isn't affected by the Sword Dance, but will it be enough? Is it going to take down Ninetales? It's not enough. Ninetales remains on 6 HP, but is fully paralyzed again and can't move. Oh, this is almost hard to watch. Persian really is in the driver's seat. Unleashing energy. Again, the Bide has failed. That's the second Bide that's failed for that Persian in this contest. And here comes the Alolan Persian, the shiny Alolan Persian, who's going to go for Surf, dealing a bit of damage to its own partner. Will it be enough to take 6 HP off this Ninetales and put it out of its misery? It is. The second fall goes to Alolan Persian, and this will go to a round 3. Whoever wins this battle goes to the quarterfinals and will be our first quarterfinalist. Will it be Persian? Will it be Ninetales? I have no idea. This has been neck and neck. The first battle was neck and neck. The second battle was a little bit more in the favor of Persian because they really took advantage of that paralysis. Now, it's really anybody's game right now. Like, I'm really impressed with both these Pokemon. Both these Pokemon deserve to go to the next round. Here's a payday from a Persian. Love that. Starting off with a signature move right there onto the regular Alolan Ninetales. And here's shiny Alolan Persian, who is going to go for self-destruct. That's some confidence right there. Wow. Okay. Says, hey, partner, you could take this with, you know, just over half your HP left. Go ahead. Don't know how wise that was. Over to Ninetales, what's it going to do? I mean, it's definitely been given an advantage here. Goes for quick attack for a little bit of chip damage to that Persian, who's now at less than half its max HP. Did Persian just throw the game? Persian, what have you done? Here's a Gust from a shiny Ninetales, which again does a little bit more chip damage, but wow. Persian not in a good position right now. Was that overconfidence shining through? Oh wow. So Persian, have you got a soft boiled or a recover in your future or something? Gonna go for conversion, changing itself from a dark type to a normal type. I guess that's a good play because it gets rid of its bug weakness, it gets rid of its fairy weakness, and makes it immune to ghost, but I don't know. Here's a Drill Peck though from regular Ninetales, taking out Persian, and Persian's gone. That's it, ladies and gents. So your first quarterfinalist is Alolan Ninetales. Wow. Persian just giving up at the last hurdle. That was crazy. One absolutely brilliant way to start the season, with Ninetales and Persian having a wonderful back and forth bit of action there, but Persian just throwing it away in the third round with an explosion, just kind of throwing its paws up and going, I give up, not bother with this no more, I'm out. So of course we say goodbye to Persian. Ninetales moves on to the quarterfinals, and we'll find out Ninetales' quarterfinal opponent next week when Rattata takes on Raticate, which... good luck, Rattata. That's all I can say. You really drew a short straw there, mate. So that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Metromania. I really hope you enjoyed it and are excited for the rest of the series. If you did, and you are, hit the like button. And if you're new and you want to see everything as it comes out, hit the subscribe button and turn all the notifications on. If you'd like to support the channel, like these wonderful people down here, do please pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrinilium. But until next time, I'm Ace Trinilium. Keep on training.